Hello everyone, it's your Peacekeeper, and in this video, well, we're gonna start off with, it's gonna have, we'll call it an epic battle replay of me playing Iowa with K-Bomb and his Missouri, but really what I want to talk about is, I want to talk about what I did this last weekend, and I understand that that has some really interesting connotations, but as many of you guys know, I was not around, which is why we only had 2 videos last week. And the reason is I traveled to California. Specifically, I traveled to Orange County for one specific purpose. Well, okay, I was drug along on a family vacation because my brother and my sister-in-law wanted to see their friends in California, but I went along for one purpose. And in Los Angeles is the USS Iowa. By far one of, my biggest bucket list ships to see is all the Iowas, all the remaining South Dakotas, the North Carolina. I want to see the Texas before she sinks. Goodness gracious, that's depressing to think about. But this is about the Iowa. And if you guys have never traveled to Los Angeles to see the USS Iowa, I definitely recommend that you do. There are a couple things to keep in mind. The USS Iowa is the oldest of the 4 ships, and as a result, she is not in as good a condition as some of the other ships are. She's also was on the Naval Registry longer than at least 2 of the other ships. She was on there with the Wisconsin, I believe, was the other ship that was on there. And so as a result, there's a lot of areas of the ship that are obviously off limits to touring at the moment, and because it's just not been made safe to open. And obviously the issue, with the number 2 turret, the tragic loss of life during the explosion in the 1980s, all of those things kind of combine that the USS Iowa, the museum itself, didn't have a huge amount of open areas to tour and look through, but what was there was absolutely fantastic. It is such a cool ship to be on board and to experience. They had people there that you could talk to that actually served on the ship. It was just a fantastic trip, not experiment. It was a fantastic trip. I'm going to throw some of the pictures I took. To be quite honest with you, I thought I was going to take more pictures. I brought my nice camera along and the whole 9 yards, and well, what actually ended up happening was I found myself so engrossed with what was going on board the ship and what I was looking at, and I didn't take very many pictures, so there's not too many of them. But you do get the opportunity to, kind of see some of the various bits and pieces of the upper superstructure area on the ship. Now, obviously, this is not her in her World War II state like we enjoy in World of Warships. This, unfortunately, is her in her 1980s refit state, which is different, to say the least. Missing some 5-inch 38 guns, obviously missing all the short and medium range anti-aircraft that was in the, the 1940s. No Bofors on board. We got Sea Whiz instead. We got Harpoons. We've got Tomahawks. Oh, man. Anyway, fantastic time. Definitely recommend it. It's about $20 to get on board. And every $20 that, you spend is $20 less that the state has to fund to try and bring the ship up to speed with the others, because there are other Iowa-class battleships that you can tour that are in far better shape and are more areas of it are open. And that's not intended to be a slight up against the USS Iowa. I think that what they've got, like I said, was just fantastic. I just wish there was more of it that was open. Unfortunately, didn't get, anything else. And that was a little disappointing, but overall, I found that the trip was really cool. Did I learn some new things about the ship? Not really. A lot of stuff is available online on Wikipedia, and that, that gives you a pretty good idea of what's actually going on. But I found that the ship was actually bigger than I thought it was. It's big. That was never that was never something that wasn't understood. It was definitely a large ship, but when you're actually walking on the deck and you're standing next to those big guns, it's a totally different experience than seeing it in a game, seeing pictures of people standing. You've got to actually feel it for yourself, because the ship just has this really cool air about it. It was a lot of fun. I don't know of any other way to describe it. I keep repeating myself there. So that it was totally worth the time. And of course, my favorite part of the USS Iowa Museum was, before you even get on board, right next to the ticket booth was one of the California Proposition 65 warnings, which, if you're not familiar with California's laws, they're required to post a Proposition 65 warning on anything that contains anything that could possibly cause cancer. So on board the USS Iowa, or on the ticket booth rather, there is a sign that literally says Proposition 65 warning. The USS Iowa contains materials that have been known in the state of California to cause cancer. And the first thing that went through my mind, and this is going to be a little political, so bear with me for a second. The first thing that went through my mind is, here's the USS Iowa, this massive symbol of freedom and amazingness, and it has been known in the state of California to cause cancer. I don't know if anybody else finds that humorous. I had to chuckle about it. It was pretty comical to me, but I'm easily entertained. So definitely worth checking out. And on that same note, while I was there in the gift shop, I actually bought some stuff that I'm going to turn into, and we're a ways away from this, but when we get to 5,000 subscribers, what I want to do is I want to give away a piece of the Teak decking that is going to have a USS Iowa Challenge Coin in it, and it'll be in its own little frame and have, you know, a certificate of authenticity in the whole 9 yards. And so that's what we're going to do with the 5,000 giveaway. We are sitting currently just shy of 4,000. I think by the end of this year we're going to hit my 5,000 goal, which is exactly where I want to be. And that excites me a lot. You guys have been a huge motivator for me to produce content, and it has been just an insane amount of fun making content for you guys, seeing everybody's comments, you know, getting tips and stuff from other players that are playing, as well as you know, getting your criticism too, because I'll be honest, I ain't perfect, and there's a lot of things that I can do to improve, both on the content aspect of things as well as the you know, gameplay side of it too. And so it's been fantastic, and so that's going to be my thanks to you guys is, and trust me, I'll get pictures of all this stuff once we get it done. I've got all the stuff to do it. Just kind of waiting on some tools to come in to finish it up, and once it's done, I'll definitely have pictures. And what I want people to do is, if you haven't already, and I know a lot of you guys have done this already, if you haven't already, let people know about the channel. You know, if somebody's in game and you know, they're struggling and you think that one of my videos could help, don't hesitate to put it out there. You know, let's see if we can't get to 5,000 here soon, and let's have a good time with it too. Ooh, wow, that was a painful shot on that Fiji's in smoke. I just hit him with 7 shells. Oh man. Okay, so that's what's going on for right now. Let's start talking about this battle. So the battle is on hotspot, obviously playing the Iowa. Duh. I went to the USS Iowa. This was a fantastic game. It starts off really slow. On this map, I generally like to sit somewhere around A in battleships, because playing around in C or going the long way around C tends to be a bad move. It takes you too far out of the fight for far too long. Or you're playing around in destroyer territory where destroyers are way too good at their job, and as a battleship you don't do enough damage to them to actually make that work. So that's why I tend to hang out over on the A side of A. We are over in B currently, though, trying to get Mr. Fiji here to well, come out so I can kill him. If you haven't, this is the current version of the game, so the new graphics just went into effect with the with the big old gun flares and all that nonsense. I think it looks really cool. It looks quite realistic. Ooh, we're going to throw up our spotting plane here to spot this Fiji. And... Boof. Didn't get him before he killed off our Fletcher, but we did manage to sink him anyway. So now we're going to turn around and see if we can't capture B. But, so there's, I lost my train of thought. Well, okay, so we threw up our spawning plane there. Oh, yes, there we go. We got ourselves a destroyer over here that we got. We've got ourselves an Iowa that is backing up. Yep. And the new gun blooms are in. I personally like the way that those guys look. I think they're fantastic. I want to thank Wargaming for putting forth the time and effort to do that because, quite honestly, the game from a visual standpoint has improved a lot. Don't get me wrong. The game has improved a lot. However, it's been a while since we've had a pretty major graphic overhaul, and I think this is one that is absolutely fantastic. What I would like to see, though, is I would love to see just a little bit more... Wow, that was a big hit. I'd love to see just a little bit more fog created from these battleship guns. Right now, you shoot, you get your big black smoke, and then you get kind of like a lingering smoke that hangs around for about a second or so. It really needs to hang around for a lot longer than that, and unfortunately, it doesn't. Stealth Iowa builds are annoying. Aha, he pops up, but we don't have our turret. God dang it. Not really doing a good job of planning here. So there's the Iowa. Yes, yes. Keep traversing. This is one of the things I definitely don't recommend doing. If you're in an Iowa and you're trying to hunt for other targets, pick a target and engage it. And then, you know, if it goes away completely, awesome. If it doesn't, you know, keep shooting at it. In this case, I tried to go back to the Colorado trying to think. And then I'm like, well, I'm burning. I don't want to, you know, be burning and this close to death when my repair party is up. So we're going to repair a lot of the damage that we've taken. That's super important at this point. We are going to turn it north to try and support our Pensacola. And before we do that, we definitely want to make sure that we get ourselves angled into this Colorado, because anytime we go broadside to a battleship, it's opening up ourselves for pain and suffering, even though they've lowered... Ooh, is he going to pop up? Yes. Okay, we need our turrets to traverse. And shot out. So hopefully we can finish off this Iowa there. We are up to 109,274 damage. So yeah, you definitely want to make sure that you know, you're in a position where you can safely engage. So engaging another target broadside, not a good idea. Doesn't matter what ship you're in. Important note for Colorado, your bow can be overmatched by 16-inch guns. So going bow into an Iowa, probably not going to end terribly well for you. Well, 3K. Looks like their Yugamo managed to take out our Nelson. Not a good sign. They are ahead in terms of points. I'm going to throw out my spotting plane just to make sure that if there's any DDs around, we get a possibility for advanced warning here. Again, shooting at this Colorado. He's coming forward just ever so slightly. And we got 2,200 damage there. And I'm going to keep on pushing in. Yeah, he's going to die here pretty quick. I think the Neptune did the most damage to him. Got ourselves a shot out on him, and down he goes. So, what's left? Well, 2 destroyers are all that's left. We are making points. Definitely going to get our destroyer, or our I wanted our Neptune to go find these guys. The Pensacola, he's not in a really good position to... Oh, detected. Not really in a good position to actually... Oop, smoke. Yeah, here's a pro tip, destroyers. Don't expose yourself unnecessarily if you don't have to. Laying smoke? Nah, probably not what would have been my first choice. Well, we missed. That sucks. Ognavoy, definitely an interesting ship. You'll get to see the how to play video on it come next week. And, oh my. Come on, Iowa, turn around. Aha, Yugamo. Well, that means torpedoes are on the way. In this case, we definitely need to get our WAS and D hacks on, because right now we are was hoping he would show up again, but he's not going to. We are definitely presenting that profile. 2 overpens, probably about 3k worth of damage there. And he shows back up. Well, the secondaries are engaging. Not that they're doing a whole lot. Oh, we're detected. Well, there's Mr. Ognivoy. Somewhere in here is going to be torpedoes. Should be WASDing. Okay, so there's Ognivoy, and we're going to shoot at him here. Hopefully we get to sink him. Yes, down he goes. And I'm being shot. AP is being shot at by a Yugamo at me. What? Oh, there's torpedoes. Ugh, we managed to avoid his 2 torpedo sets. Hey, look! We managed to avoid the Ognivoy. Well, screw it. Since his torpedoes are down, he's going to be a while before he's going to kill me. We're going to go find him. Sailing on in on our battle bridge here. Let's go get him. It was actually really cool to stand on the real ship on this location. The view is just fantastic. Absolutely amazing. And down he goes. I personally enjoyed my time at the Iowa, and like I said, guys, when we hit the 5,000 subscriber mark, expect to see more information about our Teak decking. It is the original Teak decking for the USS Iowa, removed from the ship here in 2017, and it's going to have the USS Iowa Challenge Coin on it. It's going to be in its own little frame that you can hang on a wall or put on a desk. So expect that information coming up soon. And if you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm your Peacekeeper. Thanks for watching.